Okay, Rabbi, so how do you decide whether someone is a good person or a bad person?
As a rabbi, again, it's a frequently asked question about good or bad people. How do I judge them? Or what would be some good advice as to how to judge? And then, being a rabbi, I'm going to fall back on the Jewish position, at least to start. If that's okay. In Judaism, we judge by someone's actions, not thoughts. We have all kinds of thoughts. People can have all kinds of thoughts. The question becomes then, do we act on them? How do our thoughts influence us? Now, this is extremely important because if we have a thought, we might act inappropriately on it. So if we don't have it, we're not going to act on it. So that would eliminate, it's like building a fence. You build a fence around something. What we want to do is watch our thinking and our behavior so that we don't advertently or inadvertently act on our thoughts. However, a thought is just a thought. And like an ice cube, it just melts. And so there are some individuals, there are some religions and groups that point to thoughts as if they had a life of their own, as if they were bad, as if they could do something.
Mm-hmm.
I have a thought. I'm not acting on it. Okay. Now, I'll want to look at myself and go, ooh, why did I think that? Ooh, it's not a good idea to act on it. Which is why we want to be in a community with people who do good deeds. This is why we want to find ourselves having a path to follow, a way, so that if the thoughts don't come into our heads, then we don't have to worry about acting on them. But if the thought does come, I can pull it out and look at it and say, well, thank you, brain, for that thought. I'm not going to do anything with it. But I want to thank you because you reminded me of something, or you said something. And this is really the basic purpose of religion, is to develop a lifestyle, to develop contacts with people, to live in a way so that we don't have thoughts that we have to spend a lot of time fighting with and arguing with. In the end, however, one is a good person or a bad person based on their actions. We look at what they do. And saying is different from a thought. A thought is personal, that's just yours. But if you start talking about it and promoting it, your goal then is to influence other people to act on your thoughts, even if you might not. And that again is an action. So I want to be clear that a thought is of something very personal and that you're entitled to think, but before you act, count to 10 and find a community. Be with people. You want to read material, look at TV shows, whatever might support your good thought and not something that would be harmful for yourself or other people.
So I can lust after other women in my heart, but I shouldn't talk to my wife about it.
You shouldn't, right. It shouldn't go beyond you and I talking about it in the privacy of confessional.
Oh, I can talk to you about it.
Talk to me about it. Say, I had this thought. But the idea would be not to act on it. And then we have to say, well, if having that thought's going to lead to the action, then we want to do something with the thinking so that it doesn't lead to that. And that's a good reason to talk to clergy, so that you get the thought out there, and then you can say, oh, I don't want to act on it. And then we can say, how do I keep from having, so I don't be troubled, I'm not troubled by them. But it doesn't make you a bad person, and that's very important.
So having bad thoughts is not necessarily bad by itself.
That's correct, and we're all going to have them.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Rabbi.
You're very welcome.